My setup's not as together as it was when I knew where my tripod was, as I'm looking around for it. Like it's gonna pop up now. I basically, I wanted to mention that I would do those things that other YouTubers do about the pagan witch movies, but I don't know how to do it like they do it. Like, I've seen a number of YouTubers who review a movie and then they're able to show a little clip, or even just insert a still image of a fan art or DVD cover or something like that, poster. But I don't know how to insert stuff when I'm doing a video, so basically I write, and then I do make fan art, but it goes onto Facebook. And so my Facebook page is Pagan Witch Movie Review. And it's a non-commercial thing. I just like to write the reviews and put it out there for people to see. It's a non-political, non-commercial thing. However, I think that art, and I would say that film is kind of the most widely consumed art form that we have these days, influences culture, which in turn influences institutions. And so I think that, and it's my opinion, which is, I'm going to say this baldly, but it's probably a little controversial, that, and this is a modern day thing, not an ancient thing. So I'm not talking about the Celts or the Ugarit Empire necessarily, but I'm more talking about nowadays. I think that countries which are either secular or pagan, or in other words polytheistic, tend to be more permissive societies than nations which are predominantly monotheistic. And I also find that societies tend to be more permissive when they produce a lot of fantasy movies. Lots of movies with magic and imagination, and basically they allow for the possibility of unicorns, at least in their imaginations. I tend to find that that has an effect on the mindset of the people watching, and if it becomes popular, then I think it's sort of healthy. I don't know. So anyway, I started this project because I noticed that I'm in a lot of groups in social media for pagans and witches and druids and all of that, and I'm not really ordained as anything, but I did notice that the people in those communities tend to think, well, whenever the topic of movies comes up, they mention kind of quite predictable things, like and then seem unaware that there are other movies. So it tends to be like, The Wicker Man is often mentioned, and then Practical Magic, and and obviously The Craft. I was not impressed with The Craft because the deity in it is a male entity, or singular kind of it's just one entity, and for me the idea of witchcraft surrounds, at least it allows for the possibility of multiple deities. I don't remember much about The Wicker Man. I seem to recall that it bothered me when I watched it when I was very young when I saw it. And what was the other one? But I liked the movie The Craft anyway. I enjoyed the movie. I thought the witches were cool. Practical Magic, I was finally bullied into watching by my father. It was my opinion that Sandra Bullock did not belong in a witch movie. And Nicole Kidman barely did, although the way they styled her was more like the suburban ideal of perfect modern female beauty, which I think is offensive to witchcraft. But that's just me and my aesthetic. Anyway, so I did finally watch it, and I remember liking that scene when they're all drunk and they're singing the lime and the coconut, and then also when they sweep the energy out of the house. That was kind of cool. But I just thought that it's a shame that there are not more witch movies that are mentioned, and more of a deeper exploration gone into, especially. I mean, there's foreign cinema, and then there's also older movies, which can be kind of interesting, and some very beautifully done low-budget films, what you might call B movies, or in some cases, I would go so far as to say art movies. So I created this page to recommend movies and encourage people to join. And I don't know if anyone who watches my channel is interested in participating and writing reviews, but I am open to having more people kind of be part of the page in that way. And so I'll link it down below. And I'm doing it on Facebook because I know how to use it, and it's easy. And that's it. I don't have a domain or anything. So that's why it's on Facebook. And I got very, very inspired about this. And the funny thing is that I'm more inspired about doing the fan art than writing the review. I mean, I can write a review and ramble on and stuff, and I can kind of make a whole tempest out of a teapot, like out of nothing. I mean, sometimes I barely paid attention during the film, and I could still ramble on for several paragraphs, basically just, pontificating over nothing. But I love doing the fan art, going through all the screenshots. I usually take like about 3 of them, if it lets me, and then I do all kinds of edits to make it look kind of even more witchy, basically. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. So check it out if you want. Okay, bye.